Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Powerful words from our national anthem. They speak to our American identity and are woven into our national flag. Timeless words written by one man, Francis Scott Key, about one flag at one moment, September 14th, 1814, here at Fort McHenry. In 1812, the storm clouds of war had gathered over a young United States as the nation pitted itself once more against the might of the British Empire. For 2 years, the conflict wore on, from the British colonies of Canada to America's southern coast and out across the high seas. To draw off U.S. forces from Canada and damage America's economy and morale, the British Navy attacked and blockaded the nation's east coast heartland.
Hey, Sarah.
Up and down the Chesapeake Bay, they raided, destroying towns and farms and spreading fear. Then, in August 1814, disaster. The invading British seized Washington, D.C., and burned the nation's capital. A citizen soldier of Baltimore spoke for many. Every American heart bursting with shame and indignation at the catastrophe. And Baltimore hearts were also full of anxiety, for they feared they would be next.
Citizens of Baltimore, take heed. The British fleet approaches. Admiral Butler has declared that he will burn this nest of pirates. If you can, flee the city, take your valuables.
As Baltimore braced itself, a young Maryland lawyer, Francis Scott Key, embarked on a diplomatic mission
Hey,
to free
Fran.
prisoners of war, sailing right into the heart of the approaching British fleet. With their attack on Baltimore imminent, the British detained Key amidst their massing warships. On the outskirts of Baltimore, citizens, men and women, militia, and regular troops desperately prepared defenses. They dug almost a mile of earthen trenches and waited with bated breath. On September 12th, British soldiers landed at North Point, where a bloody battle with Maryland militia failed to halt their march towards Baltimore. However, the British could not tackle the city's earthwork defenses and troop reinforcements without their navy's help. The next day, the British bomb ships would open up their main assault with a ferocious bombardment. Their target, Fort McHenry. They had to knock out the fort to bring their ships in range of the city. The fate of Baltimore now lay in the hands of the fort's defenders. "1,000 soldiers frantically prepared for battle, knowing they were the last defense to thwart the British. With the enemy in their sights, the men awaited the inevitable, a bombardment from the world's most formidable navy. Then the attack began. The British fleet pounded the fort with rockets and mortar shells. day turned into rain-soaked night. But still, the British bombs and rockets thundered over the fort, exploding deadly shrapnel all directions. The fort's defenders were, in the words of one citizen soldier, like pigeons tied on their wings. The American artillery answered the British with desperate return fire. Would it be enough? Baltimore's citizens watched in panic for the night. One recalled,
"The attack on Fort McHenry was distinctly seen from Fenton Hill and from the tops of houses which were covered with men, women, and children."
early next morning, September 14th, the British guns finally fell silent. A huge flag was raised above the fort, but whose? Through the long night, Francis Scott Key had been forced to watch the bombardment from among the enemy fleet.
Nothing.
Now, he strained to see the flag in the dawn's early light.
It's ours, Mr. Skinner. Say, what? It's ours.
Inspired by their courage, he wrote down a few lines. "'Tis the Star-Spangled Banner, oh, long may it wave o'er the land of the free, a home of the brave." As the British withdrew, he returned to Baltimore, where his words soon found music and a publisher, and the Star-Spangled Banner was born. It captured a defiant, patriotic spirit and spread rapidly across the nation, pouring new life into the national flag as a symbol of American identity. The popularity of the song and the flag grew during the years that followed. The Star-Spangled Banner eventually became the official anthem of the United States in 1931. Inspired by the brave defense of Fort McHenry, Francis Scott Key's words and the flag they so memorably portray are now woven into our sense of national identity. These words still resonate as loudly today as the glaring rockets and bursting bombs of 1814.
And there, oops, I forgot my hat. Hold on, where'd it go? Over here on the floor. Okay. So, as I was saying, there is your first glimpse of Fort McHenry. We will take a walk up there and get a closer look. But first, let me just turn this around for a moment. Hello. Hi. Hello, everyone. Those of you with me live and those of you, oh, there goes the screen down. And the lights come back up. Those of you who are with me here live and those who may watch this later, my name's Sharon Schultz. I'm known as the Bay Lady because I do a lot of activities around the Chesapeake Bay area. Chesapeake Bay is located in Maryland and Virginia, and it is a major waterway here. So, anyway, today we are kind of off the Chesapeake Bay. Chesapeake Bay is the main body of water, and the Patapsco River comes off the bay, and that's where we are situated. Fort McHenry is on the Patapsco River. So is Baltimore Harbor, which Fort McHenry was built to protect at the time. Today, it's a national park, of great historical value, as you saw. We're currently sitting in the visitor center, and that is where you saw that excellent production that tells you beautifully the story of Fort McHenry. So that's kind of nice. So, everybody, hello. I see there's quite a few messages here. I hope you are enjoying. I see some of my friends out there, Fran and Sarah, and they're connecting back and forth. And I see some new friends out there. Good to see you all. I can see your comments pretty well at the moment, but once we get outdoors, the sun glare is going to be brilliant, and I may not get to read comments until I get to a shady area, of which there are few and far between. Go figure. Anyway, so again, I do a lot of tours around this area, but I'll tell you what, this is my next to the last tour. I have one more tour coming up on 4th of July. The fireworks at Baltimore Harbor should be spectacular. Then I've got to take a break for a while because I'm moving to a new bay. I'm moving from Chesapeake Bay to Pensacola Bay. So take me a little bit to be settled, and then we will explore a new bay together. It'll be all new for me and all new for you. So that should be interesting. To keep up with myself and my tours and other information and such, you can find me on YouTube. My YouTube channel, Sharon Schultz, the Bay Lady. And also you can find me on Facebook, the Bay Lady. And on both of those media platforms are links to a lot of other platforms that carry my tours. They're guide-based platforms where you can find many virtual guides, excellent guides, in addition to moi. Anyway, and also there's a link on both for Buy Me a Coffee. That's where you can support my content. That's where I get the funding for my gas and such for all these wonderful free tours. Anyway, so without further ado, well, actually, with ado, hold on a minute. We're going to go out into the main part of the visitor center where I will switch the camera around again. Oops, we got a kid tour coming up. Yes, we do. Okay, so this is the this is the main visitor center. Oh, all those cute little kids, look, they're all lined up. Okay, it must be a day camp because schools are closed at the moment. Okay, so before I turn this around, I just saw something interesting. Who does this lovely jacket belong to? Worn by James McHenry. Look at that. Oh, nope, you can't. Let me turn. This is why I need to turn this boat around. Camera. Ta-da. Ta-da. There you have it. Look at that. Beautiful coat. You know what? James McHenry was a very small person. I could not fit into that coat. Once upon a time, I was a small person. Go figure. Okay, out we go. Have to pass by. It's a bit crowded today, being the nation's birthday and all of that good stuff, right? Yep. Ta-ta-ta-ta. All right. And off we go. Okay, so as I said, this is a national park, very well maintained, well kept. Let's see, we're right here on the river. We're kind of on a point, a peninsula, or what have you, that the fort occupies.
Getting really short.
It's the fort is built in the shape of a star. It's got 5 points. And normally they have several flags that they fly. They're always oversized, you know, because the flag is the whole is Fort McHenry, you know, just in the flag itself. It you know, represents you know, the night that the fort took that bombardment from the British forces, and we prevailed. The fort maintained with the help of the citizens of Baltimore. It was a group effort for sure. The citizens provided the earthworks that kept the land troops advancing from North Point. Meanwhile, the military here defended the fort with all their might as they were bombarded. We're about to get a heat wave here. I don't know about you guys. This is going to be one of the last coolest days here. It even 4th of July is supposed to be just unbelievable. You can see the fort and the flag through the trees. Across the river there, it's all industrial now. That is rather the Port of Baltimore. So it's all industrial, but once upon a time there was a dock over there. It was called Lazarus Point.
Hello?
And there's still a lighthouse there, but it's kind of concealed by all that port industrial equipment, towers and tanks and such. But once upon a time, that is where the immigrants coming from Ireland in particular were taken off the ship and detained at Lazarus Point to undergo medical checks and things of that nature because they were coming from a starving country, and so their health was questionable. As a matter of fact, many of those immigrants didn't make it. They died on the ship. And so that's where the term coffin ships came from, because when they arrived, they would be full of the bodies that didn't make it. They didn't throw them over the ship. They brought them to be properly buried. Okay, closer to the fort. Yay. It's a heck of a walk. You can't really see the lighthouse at all over there. Oh, yes, you can see the lighthouse. Okay. All right. Oh, gosh, the sun is so bright. Hang on 1 second. There we go. I got a hat. Give me a little shade anyway. Okay, so the lighthouse is dead ahead there. I guess if you zoom or what have you, maybe you can see it. But as I said, it's surrounded by all types of commercial things and such that you would find at a busy port. Now, looking straight ahead, something that you don't see is the Francis Scott Key Bridge. The only thing left, there are a couple remnants there. Over on the right and on the left, on both sides, you see a steel structure, a structure that has, let's see, each one has 4 posts, and then there's something go across the top.
Yeah.
Those were the ramps that went onto the bridge once upon a time. That's all that's left now. New bridge is under construction, but takes time like everything else, right? Okay, so we have guns pointing at us here. Big old cannons. There's a whole line of cannons right here as well. The guns that won the battle, says the marker.
Do that when other people are around. Oh, yeah.
There's, oops, sorry.
I'll send it to you. So, before gunpowder,
Interesting.
not bullets, and stick in the wall.
Okay, let's go. Oh, that barge out there with the tent on it,
That's why
that is supposed to indicate the approximate location of the ship that Francis Scott Key observed the bombardment from. As you can see, he was relatively close. He and several other civilians were evacuated over to where the British ships were, that area. And why, I don't know. Never made any sense to me, but that's the story, and I'm sticking to it. There's another glimpse of the Port of Baltimore and that little teeny lighthouse there. Once upon a time, that was all that was there. That little teeny lighthouse. Okay. Onward. So anyway, I think I was saying, is anybody else having a heat wave out there? It's supposed to be really bad here in a couple days. It is coming across our country from the west, and there are some mid-Atlantic states at the moment. I mean, not mid-Atlantic, mid-country states, central states that are experiencing some high temperatures in the 100s, and it's coming our way. They're saying by Thursday was our day after tomorrow. So today is supposed to be a normal summer day, which I can tell you is hot enough. A gun used to sit there, a cannon. Okay, so here is the main entrance to the fort. Coming up. See it with the flag. They have a flag ceremony every day, well, twice a day, I suppose. When they raise the flag and lower the flag as well. Now, this flag, if you notice, has the 13 stripes, but there is not 50 stars on it. Hold on, I'll turn around so you can see it. It's the original stars from the original 13 colonies. So, the time of this war, it's called the War of 1812, but this bombardment actually took place a couple of years after the war began. It was September in 1814. Here is a place where they would have stored gunpowder and various things. I hesitate. Well, I know from experience not to go inside with this because I lose the signal, and then y'all are seeing a blank screen, and it takes me a minute to get it back, and I come back and everyone's gone. So we're not going there. I will explain. Oh, we could listen to this guy. Let's listen.
Some of them would have been held down. Now, no, these reproduction. Yeah, it's exactly the same thing. That's not open, we use it for school. No, actually, so it's much better than it was because some of the prisoners that were down here, they complained about the green slime was on.
Ew. Green slime.
We all. So we're all.
Bet it's cool down there.
Outside of Philly.
Yeah. Be from here?
Yes, ma'am.
Trying to get her in.
Oh. Okay. So if y'all could tell me, learn 3 facts from any of those worlds, come back and tell me.
They're doing a flag thing.
Bet.
It's a half the size of the gym.
Okay. The doors are closed.
Whenever you are ready, go ahead and pull. You're going to pull all the way up, and you'll feel it stop at the top.
Well, that's a little bit of the smaller version.
Ooh.
It's a little bit of an arm workout when you get a bigger flag.
No, those huge ones.
Whoa.
You have to be real careful. It works like a sail. It actually drag.
Biggest size, it's the size of the swing. It's up during the war. So it is up there with the historically sized flag. Go ahead. Okay, you can take
I know, that's great.
Look at that. He's got his flag all the way up there. How cool is that? So that answered our question. I mentioned there were several size flags. So this is the size of the flag that was flying that night. And here comes the little flag
All right,
back
so
down.
see
Look
that
at this.
right there?
That's where they would store all the
Hold it in a
gunpowder.
triangle if you'd like. I will warn you that these flags
Yeah,
do
everything.
not fit in those spots.
And everything else, or just barracks for soldiers.
All right, then we'll just follow the lines that are already
And
on
this
there.
is
There it
That
is.
way, whenever you get to it, you go, you have to-
in the fort.
then
This
you
is
got
it.
it.
And everything outside that you were saying.
Cool. All right, cool beans.
You look like you're having a much more comfortable day than I am.
You want to
Okay.
go find some facts?
So all of the open doors
I'm gonna hold
have.
it. You can go ahead and
Oops.
I'll help you hold it out here, but we'll fold it back up. You fold it down the middle.
You see how to fold a flag?
Thank you,
Let's
guys.
do it.
Actually, if you want to hold the flag for him, then we're just gonna fold it so it goes back into the box. So we're not doing the triangle thing because they don't travel well. So what you'll do is you see where the folds already are. You're just gonna fold them like that, and then you can fold it whenever you get it to where it's gonna go. So you're gonna fold it to here. Just fold it over and use those already existing crease lines in it. And I think it might accordion. I'm not sure. Like the next one's gonna want to fold under.
Yeah, I can't tell. I don't know.
Yeah, give him.
Oh yeah, it alternates. Interesting.
So.
Go back. Pretty good. It's hard.
Yeah. Well, this is one of the things that we point out. So like we're special because of the flag and the national anthem, right? That's what gives us our meaning. And every day we do this, right? We deal with flags on a daily basis, and we often get asked, why do we fold flags into a triangle? And in reality, there is no reason that we know of, right? It just became a tradition around the centennial anniversary. People started doing it. But we like to point out that you can't do it by yourself. And it's the idea of community and teamwork that he is writing about in Star-Spangled Baner. So that's kind of our link to it. Awesome. All right. I think it'll take,
All right.
you can line it up with the box.
So you all got a lesson on flag folding, right? How cool. Okay, so we have some buildings here that are open to the public.
This is the real.
Okay, we'll poke our heads in, give you a glimpse, but can't go too far or we'll lose the signal. So this building is just used for general information. It has an exhibits about the fort, about the war, basically. And also the building itself is original. So it gives you an idea of the construction, which is pretty sturdy because it's still standing, right? Right.
Find it back.
Oh, so what is he doing? Another one. They love playing with their flags. These are park rangers, by the way. This is a federal park, so the park rangers work for the federal government. And here is another building, similar to the first one in layout, but again, it is a informational center. It's talking about now the war itself. Here you have a park ranger at full salute because they're hauling that flag up and down. And they're required to do that. So let's go over this way into the next building.
What we were going to do here is run that.
Now, this one is more set up like the barracks it probably was. I think we can go a little bit in here. Okay, so there's the bunks. Bunks and trunks. Oh, at the bottom of the bunks, on both top and bottom, they have gun racks. Look at that, a place for them to put their guns. And I guess they ate here, played cards here, did their thing here when they weren't defending themselves, right? Now it says that each one of these beds, they're called bed stacks. They had one truss, or what was equal to 32 pounds of straw. And then the Army issued 2 blankets for each bunk, 1 per man. So, I mean, two, yeah, per 1 bunk. So the 2 were split by each man. Mm-hmm. So comfy, right? Out there battling all day. Then you come back to sleep on straw. There's some people trying to climb around. The view is always spectacular. Okay, I hear a fight fly. Huh? Oh, they're doing the flag thing again. It's the same person, I do believe. Oh, nice little wagon. Looks pretty sturdy, right? Yeah. Nice. Okay, let's see here. Straighten out my camera. All right. What's up next? Okay. This is an exhibit. Okay, this is archaeology stuff. The cross brace there, the original cross brace that was, I guess, the help secure, make everything, make everything. Oh, they're talking about the flagpole. Okay, next is closed. Okay. Oh, it's the ladies' room. I may have to visit that before I leave. And here's the men's room. Yay. Good to know. Look, this place has curtains and the door's closed. Wonder if these are offices or something. Oh, this one looks like it's set up. Oh, okay. All right. So this is what the junior officers' quarters. Okay, a junior officer didn't have it so bad. I wonder if he slept on straw too. Can't tell too much. The food doesn't look bad. I look at that oysters. You know, Maryland is really, really known for its seafood. There's some food. That's what they have on the table. Nice. There's a little washstand. How nice to have that in your quarters. Indeed. Oh, 2 beds. And they got to share. Oh, well. Oh. Moving on. Okay, we've got one more. This is the gunpowder magazine. This is where they stored all the things that go kaboom. Providing for the common defense. Visual instructions for musket cartridge making and ball casting. Okay, sounds wonderful. Not too far from here in Baltimore is this huge structure, 215 feet high, called the Shot Tower. And that's where they made the musket balls. And then they would haul them over here by wagon. So here you have the magazine. So this was actually hit by cannon fire, British bombshell. It, because of the angle it was hit on the side. It didn't explode everything and take it all out. Lucky, lucky. Surprisingly lucky. Oops. Okay. All right, so this building is all closed. Wonder why. Here are some cannons. Look at the size of this ball. Okay. Fired by the British naval forces during the bombardment of this fort September 13th and 14th, 1814. When by the light of the bombs bursting in air, the national anthem, the Star-Spangled Banner, had its birth. And they are still playing with that flag. Somebody new now. God, that ranger does that all day long. How insane, right? Totally insane. Okay. Let's go take another view of the harbor from one of these cannon bridges here. Mm-hmm. Oh, right here, this is another building. This would have been the officer's office or whatever, the place where they checked in, did whatever. Commander's office, I suppose you could call it.
We're gonna fold it back.
That's from the city. What else? And have you got friends break out?
It's a beautiful day. Here's another look at the fort from behind. Here's the back of those buildings, too. Okay. All right. There you go. Woohoo! Feel like we're on top of the world, right? Let's do a nice little panoramic view here. All right. All right. So you're looking at the Patapsco River. And that is the Port of Baltimore, part of it, anyway. All the industrial buildings. Baltimore, the Port of Baltimore, is the biggest importer of cars. That is our claim to fame, the biggest importer of cars in the whole country. And we are also the biggest importer of farm equipment in the country. We have that distinction. Looking dead ahead, see if you can pick out what's left of Francis Scott Key Bridge, appropriately named, right, and positioned right in the middle of where Francis Scott Key gained his fame. And we have more cannons over here. and a lot of cannonballs. And we've got some workers over there working on, I guess, they're working on what do they call it? A carriage, whatever is holding that cannon. I do believe. I do believe. Okay, so across the water there, that is also part of the Port of Baltimore. There are many, many large ships that come in here. Those big old cargo ships, container ships. That's what took out our bridge, one of those big old container ships leaving the harbor. And then over here, we have just more of the Baltimore coastline. That's actually Baltimore. Actually, you can see between the building and the trees, you can see a large building on the other side of the water. That is the hospital, one of the local hospitals, Harbor Hospital. And here's another look at the fort. Ta-da. Okay, and now let me turn this thing around so I can bid you adieu properly. Boy, I'll tell you, you don't know how hard it is to even see this. Oh my God, the sun is ablazing. And even my funky little straw hat isn't providing the shade I need. So it's hard to see. Can I see any of these comments? I know there's a boatload of them. Hey, everyone, the War of 18. Ah, Fran. I love it. I love it. I'm going to have to go back and read these later. For sure. Okay, folks. Well, thank you for joining me today. I have to crawl my way back to the car now. It is hot. 4th of July, I will be live streaming around 8:30 from the Baltimore Museum of Industry. I try to go there every year. I do make it most years, but it's right on the waterfront, right on the harbor, and right in direct proximity of the barge that is setting off all their ships. So pretty cool. Oh, pretty cool. So be sure to join me for that. And then, as soon as I get my act together in Florida, we're going to the beach, folks. Yep. What is it? We're going. It's like in the Florida Panhandle. It's on the Gulf of Mexico. And the beach that we're going to is Pensacola Beach. To start, there's other beaches, but that's going to be my new home for sure. So, all right, don't forget I love coffee. BuyMeACoffee.com. You'll find the rest of it on my media pages. So, okay, thanks. See y'all. Bye. Bye, Fran. Bye. Yeah, you're right. Bye, friend. Love you guys.